Welcome to Custom Home Builder Solutions, also known as CHS, a job costing, full accounting, and profit management software designed specifically for the professional home builder. Hi there, this is Carol King, the developer of CHS. This is basically an update about purchase orders, printing, signing them, and emailing them, etc., which may be a little different than a few other videos you might come across that were done earlier. It's right now in September 2017, and we've added a new feature for electronic signing, but basically I'm going to go over everything about signing, printing, and emailing a purchase order here. So let's get started on that. I've clicked Jobs and Project Management, and I'm going to click Purchase Orders to get the Purchase Orders menu. And I'm going to use a job we've been doing with demo stuff to just look for purchase orders for that job. And I'm just going to look for purchase orders that we've issued to JT's Wallpaper and Paint. And I'm going to open a list of the POs. And first of all, I'd like you to notice that there's two purchase orders here for JT's Wallpaper with two different cost codes that if I hover over them, one is Paint Exterior and one is Paint Interior. But I'd like you to notice that when we created the POs for those two, we changed the PO title to be Paint-Interior and Exterior and Paint-Interior and Exterior because we plan to batch those here in just a little bit. And I'll come back to those couple of POs later to show you the batching of those two particular POs and why we've changed the PO title to include both of them. So right now, let's just go to one that said Paint Touch Up or whatever that we like here. So we can just take a look at printing, signing, emailing these purchase orders. So this part is a little different here now that you might see on other videos about purchase orders. But this, like I said, is an update. And if you would please look for the part in Help or other videos about setting up various purchase order styles that you would like to use, where you can set up your main body style. Like for our one that's called PO, we've set up a title to be purchase order, and then we've set some main body text up, and that's shown in other videos about how you can set up those styles, and as many as you like, maybe one for purchase order, one for work order, you know, that type of thing. But I'm going to select the PO style, just PO, for mine so that you can see it. And it's asking if I'd like to store it and use that style most every time as a default when I come in. But the first thing you do when you're ready to print a purchase order, first of all, maybe you've typed a bunch more notes here that would print. These are notes about this PO only. I just wanted to change it a little bit. And you'll notice these buttons went dim since I made a change, so I need to save before I can use this button. But what I'd like to get to is to print or email this PO out to the vendor. You click this button, and the new feature that we have is that you can sign, put your signature in before you print the PO, and I'm just going to probably make, it's good to take up the whole box. You'll see that here in a minute. I'll just play like I'm J. Randall. This will do better if you have a stylus on a touch screen. But then I'll commit that, so you'll see it here. And if I wanted to do it better, I could click sign and it would open up again. But let's see what happens if we just do print a purchase order PDF. And what it's going to do is gather things about any items you have attached and decide if you're using footage or not, and prepare a report, a PDF report for you, which it has done. And it's opened a window that says click to open PDF or photo, because that's used for other things you've uploaded. But let's look at our printout here. First of all, let's right up here at the top right, usually there might be a download, especially if you're in Firefox and you've set your Firefox up correctly to be able to open with Adobe Acrobat. Let's get it in that, and let's make it just a little bit smaller with the minus sign up here. This builder has quite a bit of verbiage in the main body of this PO style that he selected. So his verbiage for the main body text has come in on the second page, but let's go back to the first page. First of all, you'll notice that CHS has put this stuff in for you. This block of information about the price, etc., is put in by CHS, and then any notes that you wrote about this PO, you can see there's those notes that I just typed in. And don't miss the part about how you can set up default notes to drop in, like you might have a bunch of notes that are particular to framing labor or something, and you attach that to the cost codes, PO defaults for the cost codes, and watch the videos about that earlier. And so those big long bunch of notes, so you're not putting them in for something like framing, etc. So let's go to the second page. Here's the main body text that went with that PO style, and there's that signature that I just did, which is the builder's signature, and what it puts underneath it is the PO date that you have on your PO from whenever you created the PO, etc. You can change that PO date on the PO window. Now the vendor acceptance line and this vendor payment request line are put in by CHS. Your vendor could just sign it and date it and send the PO back to you. We are planning and setting up for vendors to be able to get online and also do an electronic signature, but that's not quite ready as of the time of this PO. But then if they do sign it and you came and reopened to look at this PO, you would see those signatures there for payment request, etc. But anyway, that's how in previous and other videos for customers that have had CHS for a while, I was talking about uploading an image of your signature. But you no longer have to do that. You can do an electronic signature that just stays there as part of the record. So I wanted to show you that. That's how you just open the purchase order. You could, of course, while it was open in Adobe, save it down to your own computer. You can also email it to yourself. Your email, your CHS user email will be there. And you could email it to yourself so that you could forward it on. But you can also, when you do print or email this PO, you can click the second button down that has to do with emailing to the vendor that you've selected, which would be JT's Paint. You can email this to the vendor using the next window that will open, and it knows that you clicked that. So again, you'd sign it first. It goes and prepares that same PO report that we had seen before, and has attached it as an attachment. And we put in some verbiage here that you could completely change if you like, but you must put in a subject line of some kind yourself. It just needs something so it knows that you've changed it. Now it'll go to the email address of the vendor. And if you have set up any other contacts for that vendor, additional contacts for vendors, there, that email address would show there, and you could do select, and it would start adding those email addresses in here. Please watch videos about setting up vendors and how you can add 3 other contacts, etc. And then it will CC to yourself and to the builder or project manager that you've assigned to the job, the email address for that particular user in CHS. And if you need to add any more users, like if I wanted to add another user right here, I could, which I did. I selected and it came in. Now if you type in your own additional email addresses, please separate them with a comma. You can set a permission level over here to less, if you'd like people with less permissions to be able to view this once CHS stores this email in your database. If you have attached like a bid, uploaded a bid and attached it to the PO or something else, you can attach 2 different types of PDFs to a PO, and those would be in here also. So you might be saying something like, as per your attached bid, and you might have uploaded it and it would be attached. You also can get some information about what previous emails you have sent, and it will show you so that you can know whether you're sort of sending it a second time, or you can remember if you'd sent one before. It'll show other emails, maybe about scheduling and this and that you've sent. I don't have any because this is a demo. So when you're ready, you do send and save, and then it'll tell you that it sent it. I'm actually on my local machine, So if I click that, I'm not really out on the server. It wouldn't work, so I'm just not going to do that, but you can do it and do send and save, and then you will send a PO, send this out. It won't use your own email client, it's using the one on our server, and so you can look at the place where those are stored. It says I must reset any changes I made, so I'm going to, because I'm not really going to send that email right now. Just wanted to demonstrate how you use it. Now, one more thing I want to talk about is how you can actually batch more than one PO together, either by the PO title or by vendor. So let's close this, and again, notice how this PO title for both of these is the same. So let's click on one of these, and by changing the PO title, I mean you can type PO titles on the PO. You can type them in yourself right here. So I made sure, and there's a drop down so that you could see other POs for that vendor, so I could select that to get it in without trying to remember what title I put on another PO. And the reason for putting the same title is that you can batch POs by title. I'm going to use the button over here for batch by title. And what you'll get is a list of the POs that have the same title and that will be batched together into one sort of PO printout for you. So you can see which ones will be there, the ones with the same title. So if I click Print PO, Batched by PO Title, and first of all, before you open this window, you should select the PO style that you want, because it will use that for these batched ones. But what you'll notice here is that it's put this PO and this PO both on here together, and then it has come down and totaled those together, so it in a way looks like one PO, even though for inside CHS they're two different POs, because of the fact that we're going to compare POs to actual cost, to the budget, and this and that, and so we have to have separate POs for different cost codes. And these two are actually to two different cost codes. But that's how you batch some POs together by having the same PO title, which is printing right up here at the top. The other one that you can do to batch things together is batch by vendor. In other words, all POs for this vendor and this job will show up in a list here for you to see all of them, and you can select which ones you want to include on the same printout. Now maybe I just want the touch-up and the paint garage all on one PO. So if I select POs based on what I just selected, now you'll see there's only two lines here, and it says print POs shown on one printout. So it's going to put those two lines on the same printout. You'll see that we have paint touch-up and paint garage, and a total for the two of those together. In case you're wanting to send it like that, they'll still have their own PO number, which is showing here when you're entering data in CHS. So that's how you batch some things together if you'd like to batch them. So I think that's all I'd like to say for right now about how you sign, print, email POs, and batch POs. Thank you for watching.